ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साधवैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna devotees, so welcome to today's discussion on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So we'll be continuing from where we left last time. So we'll do a short revision of what we have discussed till now, and then we will go to the topic today. Okay, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so as we have been discussing, so this is very important topic among the discussions in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So here we are going to discuss today more about what are the qualifications for Anuga Sadhana Bhakti. But before we go to the topic, we will do a short revision. And please understand, if you have not understood much till now or in this topic, it was difficult to follow. So today discussion is the most important one, today and tomorrow. And if you have not focused much till now, so then today and tomorrow will be most important to understand what is the misconceptions about Raganuga sadhana, and another thing is that who is a person who is qualified for this, because the problems come when an unqualified person thinks I am qualified. Okay, so then the main problem comes. So I request all of you to kindly give your attention for today and tomorrow's session. Okay, so what we have discussed till now, as we have been discussing in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that sadhana bhakti, Rupa Goswami said, has two divisions, Vaidhi and Raganuga. And we offered our obeisances to Srila Rupa Goswami, who has kindly explained this science. And we saw that the definitions of Uttama Bhakti, we have discussed Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Gyan Karmadena Anukulyena Krishnanusheelena Bhakti Uttama. Why we discussed this? Because all the definitions continue in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So first was the definition of Uttama Bhakti, then definition of sadhana, Uttama Bhakti. In sadhana, what is the definition? Kriti sadhya, bhavet sadhya, bhavasa sadhana abhidha, nitya siddhasya bhavasya prakatyam hridhi sadhyata. So any person who is doing sadhana bhakti, if he is doing sadhana bhakti, these two characteristics should be there in that. Okay, what is the first one? The first characteristic is that he should be having the senses engaged in the actions of bhakti. What are the senses? 10 physical senses, and 11th is mind. And second aspect of that sadhan bhakti should be, goal should be bhava bhakti. If these two characteristics are there, then only that activity can be called as sadhana bhakti, that prescribed activity like hearing, chanting, reading, all these things. Okay, this we saw. And then we saw definition of vaidhi sadhana bhakti, which is vaidhi sadhana uttama bhakti. So yatra raga anavaptatvat. First characteristic is what? Where there is lack of raga. What is raga? Raga definition we saw Rupa Goswami gave ishte swarasiki paramavishtata. That is complete, deep, spontaneous absorption. In what? Ishte, one's loving object. What is the loving object? Is Lord Shri Krishna himself for Vrajavasis. Who has this rag? This rag is in the perfected devotees of Vraja, like Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, or Lalita, Vishakha, Shri Radha, or Sri Dama, Sudama, Chitrak, Patrak, Raktak. All these people have the rag for Krishna. But what is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti where this rag is absent? Okay, this rag is absent. That is called the first characteristics of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. But still there is action of the senses seen. Pravritti Rupajayate. Action of senses are seen. So one may ask, why are the person engaged in bhakti if there is no spontaneous attraction? So the answer is Sashaneneva Shastrasya, because he is being ruled by the injunctions of the scriptures. This kind of bhakti is called the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, governed by the rules. Is called Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Okay. And then we saw what is the purpose of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's descent. So I hope you had a very wonderful Gaur Purnima festival yesterday. So we had a lot of discussion on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also last week, that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has revealed the purpose of descent of Shri Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he wanted to himself taste the love of God and also wanted to propagate what? This devotional service. Which kind of devotional service? Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Karite Pracharan. Okay, and then we saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how Lord Shri Krishna is saying that this Aishwarya Gyan does not please me, but what pleases me? That somebody rebukes me or somebody thinks me as a subordinate, somebody uh, doesn't give me the awe and reverence, that pleases me. Okay, like that. So this we have discussed. Yeah, and then we discussed also, before entering the topic, the analogy of two people wanting to get into the international cricket, and they are continuing to practice in the cricket academy. There we saw the person A is having the impetus of the books and not the impetus of the videos, and person B has the impetus of videos but not the books. So we translated it into our Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So details we have discussed already. And one another addition we did, that for first 1 year they are given only the books, and then later they are introduced to the videos. Correct. So that we compare to this analogy below, if you can see that staircase analogy we have discussed, that it's like first two floors one can go only by staircase, that is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, and then after there is a option given whether you can continue with the staircase or you can take the lift of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, like that. Okay, but both of them have the same goal. What is the 20th floor? That is Bhava Bhakti. This we have discussed. And then we discussed what is the definition of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. So Rupa Goswami says, Virajantim Abhivektam Vrajvasi Janadishu Ragatmika Manushrita Yasa Raganugochate. So very simple definition he is giving, that Raganuga Bhakti is defined as that Bhakti which follows after Ragatmika Bhakti. Very simple. One who is Anuga of what? A Ragatmika person. Okay, which is found distinctly in the inhabitants of Vraja, like we hear in the 10th canto, like Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, Srimati Radharani, or Lalita Vishakha, Sri Dama, Sudama, all these things. Okay, so the person is called Raganuga if he follows these kind of people, okay, who are described in 10th canto as a Vrajavasi. And then, in order to define Raganuga Bhakti, first Ragatmika Bhakti should be discussed, because he is trying to follow somebody. First, that person whom he is wanting to follow has to be understood. So, that definition is given by Rupa Goswami, and he says in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, who is that person? Ishte Swaraseki Raga Paramavishtata Bhavet. So, before understanding what is Ragatmika, one has to understand what is Raga. So please remember this phrase, as I have been telling many times. So the first two lines of this shloka, Ishte Swarasiki Ragah Param Avishtata Bhavet. Okay, where there is spontaneous deep thirst for the object of love. What is that object of love? That is Vraj Krishna. Okay, this phenomena is called Raga. Okay, that is Raga means in general attraction. But here Rupa Goswami is giving a very particular definition. That is spontaneous deep thirst for the object of love, that is Vraj Krishna. And the person who has this kind of raga, okay, that person is called ragatmika. Bhakti that is impelled exclusively by such a thirst is called ragatmika bhakti. And here we saw a very important concept that Jiva Goswami explained, that this thirst is the cause. Just like the person who is pulled for drinking water, he has the cause of thirst. The thirst we cannot see in his throat, but we can see the manifestation of that thirst by his absorption in drinking water. So it may be like the person we have seen many times, somebody who is very thirsty, he takes a bottle, he can drink 1 liter fully at one in one gulp. One gulp means at one time without stopping. By that, what we can understand that this person should have been so thirsty, correct? Na? Or we may experience somebody drinking a glass of water fully without stopping, correct? So that means he was very thirsty. But somebody asks, oh, how do you know he was thirsty? Can you check a microscope with a microscope? Can you look into his thirst in his throat and find out the thirst is there? No, we cannot do like that. Okay. How we can identify it? Because of the manifestation of absorption in drinking the water. So same example here we can extend and understand that the person is doing his bhakti with so much absorption. Why is he doing? Why Mother Yashoda is so much absorbed in the activity of Krishna, that even though he is there in the forest, but she is singing always the pastimes of Krishna. Okay, why is it like that? Because she has so much thirst. Okay, that is there. That is not visible, but the activities show. This we have discussed elaborately. And then Rupa Goswami introduced that, okay, now having understood the definition of Ragatmika Bhakti, so we should understand there are two types of it. Okay, first type was Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti. Okay, what is that? Why is it mentioned as Kama Rupa? Because the external form is of conjugal activities, like a ordinary boy and girl. Okay, that is external activity. But what is inside? Ragatma. The internals are made up of the raga or deep thirst for Krishna. That is Kam Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti. What is Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti? In which the external form takes of a relationship. Okay. But internal is what? Same Ragatmika. The deep thirst for Krishna. Okay. So now somebody may say, oh, but that is also a relation, right? Kamarupa is a conjugal relationship. Why is it mentioned separately? So example is given, just like when a king is coming along with other person, we may say that, yeah, everyone is coming and king is also coming, or the prime minister. So everybody may come, that includes prime minister or king, but one has to address separately because the great extent of the respect that he deserves or the great importance he carries. Okay, that was described. That this conjugal relationship is a very special type of relationship, pleasing Krishna in a very special way. Okay. So scriptural proofs were given that these two types of bhakti exist. We will not go in detail again. Yeah. Okay. And this concept, Rupa Goswami also touched upon that how we can understand that actually those who are demons killed by Krishna are actually attaining only Sayujya Mukti, even though they are mentioned in the verse along with the gopis and Vrishnis. But that doesn't mean their attainment is similar to the gopis and the Vrishnis. They have very higher taste, and we saw a few examples like Kubja. She would not surely experience the sweetness of relationship as the gopis experience, even though the love may be conjugal. And similarly, we saw the example of uh, Dhatri, that is, Putana was given the position of Dhatri, nurse. But surely she doesn't experience that much happiness as Mother Yashoda experiences taking care of Krishna. Okay. So even though both are liberated, but they are having different relationships with Krishna and different experience. Okay. And devotees attain much more than the enemies who attain liberation. And then Rupa Goswami defined what is Kamarupa Ragatmika Bhakti as that type of bhakti with full absorption in the beloved is called Kamarupa Bhakti, which produces an intrinsic thirst. Again, Rag is there in the Atma, internals. But what is that thirst doing? It produces a conjugal relationship, okay, with the Lord in the Atma. So the absorption is there, but the activities are conjugal. Okay. But is it for their own enjoyment? No. Later it will be clarified. Krishna Saukhyartham eva kevalam udyama. The last two lines say that it is only for giving pleasure to Krishna, not for oneself. Okay. Yeah. So this kind of bhakti is seen in whom? So Rupa Goswami's literature is specifically for Vraj Krishna, and he said this is specifically seen in gopis of Vrindavan. And then few proofs were given from 10th canto, 31 chapter, 19th shloka. Okay, so the Kama, Srila Prabhupada nicely explained that it is not lust, okay, which is there in the normal boy and girl relationship in this material world. But it is a very special type of prema. Okay, so for that proof was given from a Tantra Shastra. Prema eva gopa ramanam kama iti agamat pratham. So he said that yeah, what has been told as kama is famous as prema. Okay, we saw a few more proofs for that, that how their love is unparalleled, but only for Krishna's pleasure. Okay, Krishna Saukyartam eva kevala udyama. And then he also quoted the proof from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that apne indriya sukh priti vancha dhare tar bali kam, Krishna re indri priti vancha dhare prem nam. Okay, like that. And Kubja's example was given, it's a kama praya, even though externally it is uh, for Krishna, but actually it is much different than that of the gopis because it is for personal enjoyment also. Okay, yeah. Sambandharupa definition was given that Sambandharupa Ragatmika Bhakti is that bhakti inspired by great absorption arising from identifying oneself as the parent, friend, or servant of Govinda. And for them also, internal what is there? Last two lines you can see the intense affection is there by the lack of awareness of Krishna as God. So they do not consider Krishna as God. So these things we have discussed. And then understanding Raghavana Sadhana based on Ragatmika Bhakti. Yeah. So this was the conclusion that who is a Raganuga, who is a Kamanuga person, that will come little later. But here in just Rupa Goswami is saying that since Kam Rupa and Samadhi Rupa Bhakti which are caused by Prema alone take shelter of the Nitya Siddhas, they have not been discussed thoroughly in this section because this section is about the Sadhana Bhakti, not Siddha Bhakti. So now he is defining from these two types of Ragatmika Bhakti. Okay, what are the two types? Kama Rupa and Sambandha Rupa. Two types of Raganuga Bhakti are also derived. So one who follows Kama Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti is called Kamanuga Bhakta. One who follows the Sambandha Rupa Ragatmika Bhakti is called Sambandhanuga. Okay, so two types of followers also will be there. Okay, and then we saw what is the qualification. Okay, for a person for practicing Raganuga Bhakti, and today discussion will be about this only. So if there are any questions till now what we discussed, then you can ask. Okay, then we will continue. There are no questions then. So here we had seen qualification for Raganuga Bhakti. So Rupa Goswami defined what is the qualification, and today's continued session will be on this only. So the person who is greedy for attaining a bhava similar to that of inhabitants of Raja. Okay, that is the very simple definition for the not definition mention about the qualification. Okay, what is the qualification? So he is saying ragatmika nishtha ब्रजवासी जनादयः तेषां भाव अपत्ये लुब्धो भवेत् अत्र अधिकारवान. Who is अधिकारी? Very simple terms Rupa Goswami has placed. That person who is what? Having a lubdha or greed. Okay, he has that greed for attaining a bhava similar to that of inhabitants of Raja, like Mother Yashoda or Nanda Baba or any other Vrajavasi. Okay, that is a very simple qualification he is giving. Okay, so this will be explained more by Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Shivram Swami Maharaj that it is not that today we heard and tomorrow we will start practicing. Oh, it is very simple. I also feel many times that I like to serve the deities like Mother Yashoda, or I like to serve like Nanda Maharaj. I like to serve like Lalita Visakha, or I like to serve like this. Okay, it is not so simple. Although the qualification is in summary that, but it has many more things which we need to understand. Like many times it is taken very casually, this concept in ISKCON, and this Raganuga has very different connotation also. Like I heard one conversation where devotees were saying, one devotee who is very regulated in attending. all the programs in temple, morning program and all. Other devotee who is not so regulated. So he was saying that, Prabhu, I am Rupanuga. Okay. I attend all the programs and do everything timely, and I'm very regulated. But you are Raganuga. Okay. you you do it spontaneously, means you don't attend sometimes some programs, or you do some things here and there. Okay, like that he was saying. But that is not a proper understanding of the person who is practitioner of Raganuga. Because today we will see that a person who is only very regulated person is actually only qualified, who has done this regulated practice for many years. And Srila Prabhupada will tell it is like one who has crossed anartha nivritti, okay, who has reached the stage of nishtha. And sometimes we may think also, yeah, I also think it seems that I am doing steadily. Since many years I am practicing bhakti. It looks I have become steady. So maybe I am also qualified. So Prabhupada will explain that it's not so simple. Okay. So he is saying first that tesham bhava aptaye lubdho bhavet atra adhikarvan. And we saw one example that sometimes like we may have our favorite sweet or favorite item like samosa or kachori or some whatever. So when that is come to our side, that comes to our sight, we don't think that, means our intelligence at the time doesn't work in the sense that do I have the money to purchase it, do I have the qualification to attain it. Okay, we are just attracted in the first go. I don't know, you all must have experienced this, that when we see or hear about that item we immediately feel attracted to it. Okay, we don't at the same time consider our qualification, that whether actually I am qualified for this or not. We just feel some kind of attraction. All of us must have undergone that experience sometime or other, that something is there, we feel attracted. Okay, like for somebody, the very special item may be rasgulla. So as soon as that word is pronounced, he will immediately feel attracted. He doesn't have to be told that, yeah, it's very sweet, it's very succulent, it's very juicy. No, that he has known since many lifetimes. Okay, he has been enjoying that. Impressions are there in the mind. So nobody has to convince him that it's very, very, sweet. It's very, very nice to eat. No Shastri injunctions has to be given. Similarly, this Raganuga Sadhaka is feeling that kind of greed towards Vrajavasi. Okay, as we saw last time. Okay, that uh, sorry, from the Sandarbha, Bhakti Sandarbha 310, if you remember, there Srila Jiva Goswami defined raga. Just like eyes naturally get attracted to the metal objects. You remember that definition. Eyes naturally get attracted to metal objects. Similarly, the attraction for Lord is called raga. Okay, so we have attraction for metal objects. We don't think whether I'm qualified for that. Similar is for raga also. A person who is qualified, who is Raganuga sadhaka, he naturally feels attracted towards such personalities of Raja. Okay, and here we had discussed in detail the person desiring to follow in the footsteps of such eternal devotees of the Lord as the Vrishnis and Vrindavan denizens are called Raganuga devotees, which means that they are trying to attain to the perfection of those devotees. It's not that they have attained. So what Srila Prabhupada is telling, they are trying to attain. Okay. So here you can see they are trying to attain. They are in the process of doing the sadhana. Okay. They are not yet perfected. And then another thing Prabhupada told, that these Raganuga devotees do not follow the regulative principles of devotional service very strictly. We saw that what Prabhupada is meaning is that these practitioners are very regulated practitioners, but their impetus is not the scripture's injunction. Okay, that you should get up early in the morning because Guru Maharaj has said, or Shastras are saying. No, they just naturally think that what the Vrajavasis do. Okay, just like we saw two persons, A and B. So A has the practice, cricket practice, with a natural impetus of following the steps of the book. Okay, whereas the person B, he has natural inclination to follow the video. So is any one of them doing wrong? No, both are doing correct. But the impetus is different. So one very nice example we can see, sometimes when we are going in the train. So sometimes the train goes through the terrain where electrical lines are not there, or mountainous region. So have you seen they change the engine? They change it to coal engine because there is no electrical, or in the this Ooty and other places which are like hill stations. There the trains which are there, which are generally run by coal, because electrical lines are not possible to be put. So the train is running in both the cases. One is electrical engine or diesel engine is there. Other place it can be coal engine. So now what happens for this person is that engine is changed. The impetus is different. Okay, one has the impetus from the books, other one has the impetus from the videos, which are like the 10th canto pastimes. Okay, so none of them is doing wrong. Only thing their impetus is different. So now somebody may ask, so is the Raganuga Sadhaka does not follow scriptures? No, he follows the scriptures, but his impetus is not the scriptures. Okay, that's what Prabhupada is trying to explain, and today we will see also Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani what Shivram Maharaj says on that. Okay. So there is a gradual development of the ambition to become like a particular devotee. So it's not overnight. One should not think that, oh, today I heard about this and I also feel I am qualified to practice. Tomorrow I'll start. It is not like that. Okay. That's what Prabhupada is saying. The Yeah. So this is from Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. We read the qualification to perform Vaidhi Bhakti is faith in scripture, and the qualification to perform Raguna Bhakti is greed to attain spontaneous devotion. Okay. That is the respective qualification. So, unlike faith, which is based on logic and reasoning, greed is based on heart's natural inclination. So, anything comes in his life, he will not think that, oh, what the scriptures say. He will think, oh, what do the Vrajvasis do? That becomes his reasoning. Who's Raganuga Sadhaka? And what Vrajvasis do? They do what scriptures say only. Actually, scriptures are written based on their activities. What they do is scriptures. Okay. So, they will not do anything wrong. They are not having any inclination for sense gratification. They are only absorbed into serving Krishna. So when one follows that kind of person, surely he will also not do anything wrong. Okay. But his impetus is not following the scriptures. His impetus is changed. Okay. This is the understanding. Yeah. Yeah. One is very intense. One is the very intense eagerness possessed by devotees at the stage of ecstatic devotion. Devotees whose love has already awakened. So this is a first type of greed, which is very high level. Why? Because it has reached to the at the stage of bhava. That is called jata rati. Whereas second type is what? Less intense greed. It's not that it is 0 and 1. Okay. One day there was no greed and tomorrow there is full greed. No, it's not like that. It is gradually increasing. It's a gradual process, as Srila Prabhupada said. Okay. The type is less intense greed possessed by devotees at the stage of practice. So one who is at the stage of practice will have less intense greed. One who is at the stage of bhava will have intense greed. Okay. This kind of greed, which is less intense, is called ajatarati. Okay. And we have seen qualification of Raganuga Bhakti till now. One shloka was quoted by Rupa Goswami that simple qualification is that one wants to attain a bhava similar to that of the inhabitants of Raja. This was one simple thing which was told. Now this whole concept will be expanded. Okay. So any questions or any discussion point till now? Okay. So if there are none, then we'll go ahead. Discuss qualification for Agana Bhakti. Symptoms of greed. What are the symptoms that greed has manifested? Because one can anytime say, oh, I also read and hear 10th canto pastime. I feel that I'm attracted to so many of the Vrajvasis in the 10th canto. I also feel that it's very nice. Wow, Mother Yashoda chastising Krishna. I also chastise my son also like that. So maybe tomorrow I should also start practicing Raganuga Sadhana. So no, it's not so simple like that. And there is more to it that we will see now. Okay. So what Rupa Goswami is saying, we will read. Okay. So Yamuna Vilas Prabhu, are you available? You can read. Okay. Just I will read the shloka, then you can continue. तत्तद् भावादि माधुर्ये श्रुते धीर्यद् अपेक्षते नात्र शास्त्रं न युक्तिं च तत्र लोभोत्पत्ति लक्षणम्. Yes, bro.
Yeah. The appearance of that greed is indicated when the intelligence does not depend on rules of scripture and logic. After realizing to some degree the sweetness of their inhabitants of Raja, love through the process of hearing from the scriptures.
Yeah. So now Rupa Goswami is developing that qualification. that how one should understand whether he is qualified. First thing he told, the innocence thing is he should be having that lobha or greed to attain a bhava similar to Vrajavasi. That is the essence of the whole thing. Now he is expanding on it and he is saying Tattat bhavadi madhurye. So those kind of bhava which are there in Vrajavasi, okay, in the people of Vraja, madhurye, bhava adi madhurye, shrute, hearing the sweet bhava of the Vrajvasis. Okay, they are very sweet. He understands that how they don't have that awe and reverence that Vaikuntha have. He understands there that it's very sweet how Mother Yashoda chastises Krishna, and she thinks that he is dependent upon me. And last time we discussed the pastime of Trinavarta, how even though the godliness is so much manifested, but they see, oh, no, no, Krishna was such a pious person, that's why Trinavarta could not hurt. All these things they will see. Okay. So seeing all these sweet dealings with Krishna, what happens? Dhira yad apekshate. Okay. Na apekshate. So the intelligence does not depend, okay, on what? Na dhira yad na apekshate, on what? Shastram, na yuktim. Not on the scriptures, not on the logic. So whenever any dilemma comes in their life or anything has to be thought of, so the person who is a Raganuga sadhaka, his intelligence spontaneously, not artificially, okay, naturally, organically, it does not depend on rule of scriptures. He doesn't think about, oh, what does the Shastra say? Okay, what does Guru Sadhu Shastra say on this? He will naturally think that what do the Vrajvasis do in this circumstance? Okay, like that he will think, his intelligence will think. Going back to the same example, the two people were learning cricket. So one will naturally think, oh, what does Sachin Tendulkar do in the video? How does he play the cover drive? Oh, he takes his right foot, left foot forward, and then he does like this. He will automatically think. He will not think about the steps of the book. That is B person. Whereas the person A, he organically and naturally thinks what is step one, what is step two in the book. Okay, that is Vaidhi Sadhaka. Both are right. And both will attain the same destination, that is Bhava Bhakti. Okay. But here the impetus is different. The engine has changed. Okay. The trains are moving, but the engines have changed. Okay. So naturally, he does not think about the rule of the scripture or he does not think about the logic. So will he do something wrong? No. He will not do anything wrong because what the Vrajavasis are doing, that is scriptural. That is based on scripture. That is, they have concluded all their logic that Krishna is the person who is to be loved. So he is following that person. How can he be wrong? He will not be wrong. Okay, only thing his impetus is not the rules of scripture and logic. Okay. So why did he do this? Because he has realized to some degree the sweetness of their means inhabitants of Raja, sweetness of Rajavasis. How did he realize this? Through the process of hearing from the scriptures. Okay, Shrute, by hearing from the scriptures, Shrute, Dhir Yad Apekshate. Now the intelligence is not depending on Shastra and Yukti. Tat lobhotpatti lakshanam. That is the lakshan, that is the characteristic of what? Lobhotpatti. That the greed has awakened. Okay. So first thing Rupa Goswami had told that he should have a inclination to attain a bhava similar to Rajvasi. That is innocence. Okay. Now he is explaining that, okay, the secondary characteristic of that is his intelligence does not depend on primary characteristic was that he should want to be wanting to attain a bhav similar to Rajvasi. That is primary. Secondary is what? Oh, his intelligence does not depend on logic and scripture. Okay, this is secondary characteristic of manifestation of greed. Okay, so it's not that every person, and please don't misunderstand this, that they don't follow scriptures. No, they follow the scriptures, but their impetus is not the scriptures. I am repeating this many times because this is the misconception in this. They think Raganuga is Sahajya. They will fall down. They will do all these sort of things. They will wear a sari, all these things. That is not Raganuga. That is called Sahajyaism. That is much different from what is Raganuga sadhana. Okay. It is very, very strict and it is based on scripture. It is not having the impetus of the scripture. Please understand. The impetus is not the scriptures. The drive is not the scriptures, but it is so much based on scripture. because without following the scripture nobody can attain any result. यह शास्त्र विधि उत्सृज्य वर्तते कामकारतः न से सिद्धिम अवापनोति न सुखम न पराम गतिम. Okay, so it is very clear that without having the basis on scripture it cannot give any result. So it is much based on scripture as Vaidhi sadhana, but the impetus is not the scriptures. Okay, now let us read the commentary on this by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Yes, please read.
One can infer, Lakshanam, that greed has arisen in the person from recognizing this symptom. When a person realizes to some degree the sweetness of the love and the activities of the inhabitants of Raja through hearing from the scriptures such as Bhagavatam, which describes these Siddha devotees, his intelligence may develop disregard for the injunctions of scriptures, Shastram, and logic, Yuktim, though logic is certainly employed.
Yeah, so now Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is explaining that what is the secondary characteristic of this. So he's saying one can infer that greed has arisen by recognizing some things about him. What are the things that one has to recognize? First, he realizes to some degree the sweetness of the Lord, sweetness of the love and activities of the inhabitants of Raja. How? Shrute, from where? From the scripture. Shrute, which scripture? Srimad Bhagavatam. Specifically, which one? 10th canto. Because there is what the descriptions of the Vrajvasis are there. Okay, that scripture describes what Siddha devotees like Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, Chitrak, Patrak, Sridama, Sudama, Lalita, Vishaka, everybody. And then because of such hearing, what happens? His intelligence may develop disregard for the injunctions. So kindly note the word may. It is not that every Raganuga sadhaka will disregard the injunction of the scriptures. That will not happen for everyone. It may. Okay. So very, very carefully words have been chosen here. So it may be. It should not happen tomorrow you see a person that he does not follow the scripture. And you will say, Arey, this is a person who is Raganuga sadhaka. Because he doesn't follow the scripture. No, it's not like that. He follows the scripture, but his impetus is not the scripture. Okay. And here what is being said that he may develop disregard in the impetus. Okay. Not that he does not follow. Okay. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatrikim Vidhim Vina. Okay. Aikantiki Harer Bhakti Utpat Eva Kalpate. So a person who is practicing Raghunath Sadhana also, he is also following based on the scripture only. What here Srila Vishwanath Chadakar is meaning is he has not got the impetus from the scripture. Okay. And neither from the logic. Okay. So what is his impetus? As we discussed, the person has impetus from the actions of the Vrajvasis because that is the bhav he also wants to attain. So he wants to follow them. Okay. But what does it mean to not follow the regulative principles of devotional service very strictly, right? This Srila Prabhupada, if you remember, mentioned in chapter 16, which we had quoted, and here also it is there. Yes, please read.
Srila Prabhupada writes, okay, Symptoms of Greed, Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani by His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj. Srila Prabhupada writes, these Raganuga devotees do not follow the regulative principles of devotional service very strictly, but by spontaneous nature, they become attracted to some of the eternal devotees such as Nanda or Yashoda, and they try to follow in their footsteps spontaneously. The Nectar
So
of
what
Devotion,
is
chapter
this? Yeah, what is this Prabhupada is saying? It looks that they don't follow the four regulative principles and all these things. So Shivaram Swami Maharaj will comment on this. Please read.
Srila Prabhupada does not mean that spontaneous devotee no longer practice the basic items of devotional service, such as chanting and hearing, or that they neglect or break the rules prohibiting illicit sex or intoxication. What it does mean is that for Raganuga Bhaktas, the inspiration to serve and surrender no longer comes from the scriptural injunction, vidhi, but from natural attachment, rag.
Yeah. So tomorrow we should not say, oh, we learnt in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that Prabhupada said, that these Raganuga sadhakas, they are not very strict follower of regulative principles. So if we see sometimes somebody breaking regulative principles, he must be Raganuga sadhaka. That is creating utpata. Okay. by misunderstanding what Prabhupada has said. Okay, and we should not do like that. Or we may think that, oh yeah, these people actually they are not regulated, they don't come for any temple programs and all, they are not coming to any counseling classes and all, so they must be Raganuga sadhaka. Sorry, that is not what it is. Okay, so what it does mean is that for Raganuga bhaktas, the inspiration to serve and surrender no longer comes from scriptural injunction. Okay, this we had discussed earlier, but from where it comes? From the natural attachment which they have for the Vrajavasi. Okay. Have they attained the raga? No. They have not yet attained. They are wanting to follow a person who has that. Okay. There is a spontaneity in the sense that they are having attraction towards those people who have raga. Okay. Like that. Yeah, continue.
In this sense, these devotees strictly follow their hearts and not the regulative principles. But because they are so spontaneously drawn to Krishna, they are naturally drawn to continue their practice of the primary limbs of devotion and avoiding those things that hinder their association with Krishna.
Yeah. So very nicely Maharaj has chosen the words. So he is saying in this sense, the devotees strictly follow what? Hearts. So has he written lightly follow, or has he written that they sometimes follow their heart? What is the word used? Strictly only, right? And what do Vaidhi sadhakas do? They also have to strictly only follow what the scriptures are saying. Guru Sadhu Shastra. Okay. Both have to strictly only follow. So please understand. Both are strict followers. If you see anytime a person who is not strictly following, he is not a sadhaka, maybe. Okay. So one should not think that one is non-strictly following, he is a Raganuga sadhaka. Sorry. That is not the right understanding. Okay. So these devotees also strictly follow what? Their hearts. What is the meaning of the hearts here? The inspiration of their heart is what? The inspiration is of the particular Vrajavasi whom they are attracted to. Okay. They strictly follow them. And what are they doing? They are the manifestation of the scriptures. What they do is scriptures. They never deviate from scriptures and they don't ever engage in sense gratification. Okay. They are Krishna Saukya Artham Eva Kevala Udyama. All their endeavors are for pleasing Krishna only. And this person wants to follow them. What is the problem? So he will also automatically follow scriptures, right? Hmm. So just like a person B who was following the videos of Sachin Tendulkar for learning cricket, so will he miss the textbook? No, he is not missing the textbook because the person has mastered the textbook only. So, but his natural attraction is coming from the person, not the textbook. Okay, like that. Another point he says, but because they are so spontaneously drawn to Krishna, they are naturally drawn to continue their practice of the primary limbs. What are the primary limbs of devotion? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmani, Vedanam, and avoiding those that hinder their association with Krishna. So there may be some things which I will mention later that are maybe opposing to their attraction to particular Vrajvasi, they should be avoided in the 64 regulative principles. So they follow 99% of the 64 limbs almost. Okay. It's not a number. I'm just saying to give a figure. Yeah, continue.
To make any sense of scripture, logic must be used to understand the meaning of a statement. As well, where there are contradictions in scripture, logic must be used to bring about a conclusion.
Yeah, so another misunderstanding about this kind of practice is that people think that you see they don't have any connection with the scripture and they don't have any logic only. Whatever comes to their heart, they do. No, no, it is not like that. They have a logic. What is the logic here? Maharaj is saying logic must be used to understand the meaning of a statement. So one example is given. Just like one likes milk. Just by liking milk, will one get the milk? Yes, Yamuna Vilas Prabhu. Just if I like milk, will I get the milk?
No,
No.
you have to drink.
No, I have to
I
drink,
mean,
but
okay.
we have
Yeah,
to
yeah, okay.
drink also. For that, will I just want to drink and I will get the milk?
No, you will have to put some effort to get the milk. Like,
Okay,
you'll,
okay,
you'll have
yes.
to.
Yeah, we will have to put some effort. Okay, can you try to think what effort I will have to put to get the milk?
Uh, Depends. If you have a cow, then it's another case. But if you
Yeah.
like your You will
Yeah,
have to
we can
un
up online order, or if we have a cow, let's
yeah,
go. Like Vishwanath Thakur is giving this example. This is not my example. He is giving this example. He says, in his time, obviously, he told, yeah, if one likes the milk, he drank the milk and he saw, hey, it's so nice, so nectarian, or he had some milk product, suppose Sandesh. So he liked the item so much. He wants to know how to make it. I want to eat every day. So he first has to find out, oh, it is made from milk. Huh? Oh, what is milk? Oh, cow gives milk. Okay, okay. How to get the cow? Oh, we have to go and purchase the cow. Okay. So first he has to go and find out where is the market. Then he has to purchase the cow. Then after purchasing the cow, he has to understand how to take out the milk from cow. Just by feeding grass, cow will not give milk. He has to understand the method, how the milk has to be taken out. Either he has to employ a person or he has to himself learn. Then he has to have the container where the milk is to be stored, right? Otherwise, milk will fall on the ground. So he has to have that container. So he has to purchase the container. Now, after understanding the milk, then milk is spoiled one day. So he has to understand, oh, I have to heat the milk. I have to boil the milk. So boiling the milk, he has to learn. So many things he has to undergo to do what? Fulfill what he liked. What he liked sandesh or milk, to drink it or to eat sandesh. So much he has to undergo. Similarly, the Raghunawa Sadhaka, he likes the Vrajvasi's bhava. He wants to attain it. Just by liking and wanting it, it will not come. He has to follow the proper method, which is explained in scripture only, by use of the same scripture and logic only. Okay, there are scriptures for Raghunav Sadhaka. There are logics also. Logic is mainly what the Vrajvasis follow. Okay, so he has to imply these two in his life to attain that. Okay, so the dependence is there on scripture. Please understand the words. Dependence is on scriptures, not the impetus. Okay, dependence is not given up. So tomorrow you may say a person who does not have any relationship with the scripture, please kindly don't conclude that he is practicing Ragana Sadhana. No, he is not practicing anything, because yeah, Shruti, what as I quoted, non-dependence on scripture is not the qualification. Okay, non-dependence on scripture is not the qualification. Okay, as well, where there are contradictions in scripture, logic must be used to bring about a conclusion. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Continue.
Nevertheless, nevertheless, it is not possible to say that the condition described is the real essence, swarupa, of that greed, since the greed does not always include disregard for scriptural injunctions and logic as a necessary component. These are usually the byproducts of greed. One may also develop greed without showing symptoms of disregard for rules of scripture and logic.
Yeah. So one may even show without any having any disregard for the scripture. Okay. So it's not, as I told, it's not the primary characteristic that one should have disregard for a scripture. Okay. So the primary characteristic is what? As it was mentioned in the first verse, that he should want to attain a bhava similar to the Vrajavasi. Okay. But the secondary characteristic is that he may have disregard for the scriptures. Okay. So I'm just seeing whose commentary this is. Yeah. Yeah. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur saying. Yes, correct. So this is the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He is saying this, that nevertheless it is not possible to say that the condition described is the real essence. So it's not primary characteristic. What is not primary characteristic? Disregard for scripture is secondary. It may happen in some cases and it may not happen in some cases. What is primary? That he has a attraction for attaining that kind of bhava. Okay, like Mother Yashoda or Nanda Maharaj or Lalita Vishakha or Chitrak, Patrak, Sridama, Sudama, any of the rasas. Okay, so these are usually the byproducts of greed. Okay, what is the primary product? Having attraction towards that Vrajavasi. Byproduct is disregard for scripture. Okay. Okay. So before we go, okay, we will take question after we complete this section. Okay. Maybe many questions will be answered. We will just continue. Now the question is asked, how does this greed develop? After we have understood, one may think, oh, yes, I understand that the greed is a qualification. Okay. So qualification was told as greed, lolium, and secondary was this regard. for the scriptures and logic. Okay, this is secondary, this is primary. Okay, I understand. But how does this greed develop? Yeah, please read.
Genuine, okay. Genuine greed is not easy to come by. It may take millions of lifetimes to awaken it. Padyavali 14. It cannot be invoked artificially. When genuine greed does arise, however, it does so from the effect of hearing transcendental sound, praising the sweetness of Rajvasis, love, beauty, qualities, and pastimes.
Yeah, so please see these slides, very important they are. Okay, some misconceptions may be removed. What Maharaj is explaining here is that it is not easy to come by. Okay, as we had a discussion last time also, that if unqualified people take up to this process, they will fall down. And many people thinking that it is not there in ISKCON, they go outside and try to follow it. And generally, they are not able to find it because genuine people will find it in ISKCON only. Okay, they don't have to go outside. And as we understood, genuine people of practice are there in ISKCON as well as outside. Okay, it's not that only ISKCON has genuine practitioners and or only outsiders have. They are all misconceptions. Okay, so genuine greed is not easy to come by. And when it comes, okay, what is the stage at it will come? That is the next question will be answered by Prabhupada. So here Maharaj is quoting a very famous verse from Padyavali, 14th verse. Does anyone know which verse this is? Very famous shloka which Prabhupada.
Um,
Huh?
Bhavananja.
no.
No, not Bhavana Janmana. They're related to the lolium word. Okay, because it is
Um,
about greed.
Tatram Abhi Lolyam,
Ah, yeah, yeah,
like
correct,
that
correct.
Prabhupada quotes in many lectures.
Yeah, yeah. Prem Latika Mataji is saying yes, yes, Mataji. She hears many lectures. She will know. Oh, yes, Mataji. You are on mute.
Lowlyam chapi ekmullyam, Prabhuji.
Ah, yeah. What is the first line of that?
That I forgot.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Start from Krishna Bhakti रस भाविता मति क्रियताम कुतोपि लभ्यते तत्र लौल्यम अपि मूल्यम एकलम न जन्म कोटि भी सुकृतिनः. Not millions of lifetimes of sukriti will generate that greed, but Krishna Bhakti Rasa Bhavitamati Kriyatam Kutopi Labhyate. If you get that anywhere, kindly sell off your house, sell off your mobiles, laptops, everything and purchase it. If you get it somewhere. But the thing is, it cannot be purchased like that. Okay. Tatra laulyam api ekalam mulyam. Okay. If the greed is only cost, how will that greed come? Later, Rupa Goswami himself will say, Krishna tad bhakta karunya matra labhai ka hetu ka. It is only by the mercy of Krishna and his devotees that this greed will come. Okay. Krishna and devotees. Mercy. Okay. Examples also will be given later. As of now, just hear and take it that it comes by Krishna and devotees' mercy. Okay. Reference will be given later. When genuine greed arises, does arise by this process by Krishna and devotees' mercy, what happens? It does so from the effect of hearing. Okay, how does it come? Yeah. So it does so by the effect of hearing transcendental sound praising the sweetness of Rajvasis as given in the 10th canto and similar literatures. And like Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada is given. Where what is explained? Nam, Rupa, Gun, Leela. Okay, Rupa Madhuri, Guna Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, Venu Madhuri. All these things are explained when this person hears regularly. Okay, from devotees who have genuine greed, then he will also develop. Okay, let's continue. Yes, Prabhu.
Such narrations are found first and foremost in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are also found in books written by realized devotees, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu 12292. Vaishnava Acharyas, including Srila Prabhupada, add that seeing and serving Krishna's beautiful deity form has a similar effect of awakening greed. The Nectar of Devotion, chapter 16.
So these are the methods he is explaining. So first what he told by hearing Shravanam, transcendental sound praises of Lord's love, beauty, qualities, pastimes from 10th canto. Second, and other also different books are there which are written by subsequent acharyas after Rupa Goswami, like Vishwanath Thakur has written, Raghavartam Chandrika, many other books are there. And then third, he is saying that Vaishnavacharyas, including Srila Prabhupada, obviously, s- add that seeing and serving Krishna's beautiful deity. Okay, either cooking or dressing or decorating, whatever, in whatever way, has the similar effect of awakening the greed. Okay. Now, the next question is, at what stage does this greed develop? So this is a very, very important question which is there. So today I heard and I like this concept that one should be attracted to Vraja pastime. It seems also, yeah, I don't also give so much regard to Krishna. I also don't have so much awe and reverence to Krishna. I don't think he is God. Not that kind of thing. Okay. But a genuine one, okay, which is based on scripture. So if that is there, so can I start practicing it tomorrow? So for that, the answer will be given now, that at what stage one can expect this. So Srila Prabhupada would give the example many times that just like when a wife is married, if a girl is married, she cannot expect the child immediately. It takes some time. So in the similar way, this greed also will take its own time to manifest. Okay. So yes, Prabhu, please read.
We must, Srila Prabhupada, on this theme, we must always remember, however, that such eagerness to follow in the footsteps of the denizens of Raja, Vrindavan, is not possible unless one is freed from material contamination. In following the regulatory principles of devotional service, there is a stage called Anartha Nivritti, which means the disappearance of all material contamination. Sometimes someone is found imitating such devotional love, but factually he is not freed from anarthas or unwanted habits.
Yeah. So very clear cut understanding Prabhupada is given, no ambiguity. When one can expect the greed to appear. He is saying we must always remember, however, that such eagerness, that greed to follow the footsteps of the Vrajavasis is not possible. Okay, please note the word not. Okay, unless one is freed from material contamination, that is anartha nivritti, anarthas basically. So he has told, in following the regulative principle of devotional service, there is a stage called anartha nivritti, where one is rid of anarthas. What are the anarthas? Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsarya. All these six things: lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride. Correct? So we have to also understand what is anartha. Otherwise, one may think anytime, oh no, no, I don't have anarthas, because he has not understood only what is anartha. So anartha means you should always remember these six things: lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride. Okay, list is there. Big list is there. Okay, so if these things are not there, then anartha is absent. Okay. When which means the disappearance of metal contamination. Sometimes someone is found imitating such devotional love, but factually he is not freed from anartha. So Prabhupada many times gives the example of Radhakund Baba, who may be indulging in illicit sex and habituated to drinking wine and smoking, and they may pose themselves as followers of some Vrajavasi. That is not what is the exact understanding of this whole concept is. That is the opposite understanding, because it cannot happen when the anarthas are there in the heart. Okay. Yes.
It has been seen that a so-called devotee proclaims himself a follower of Nanda, Yashoda, or the gopis, while at the same time his abominable attraction for mundane sex life is visible. Such a manifestation of divine love is mere imitation and has no value. When one is actually spontaneously attracted to the loving principles of the gopis, there will be found no trace of any mundane contamination in his character.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada has told that he should not be at the same time having this abominable attraction for mundane sex life. Okay, that is Sahajiya. Okay. And of imitating such a mundane, divine thing, making it mundane has no value. And then he continues and says that when one is actually genuinely spontaneous attracted loving principles of the gopis, there will be found no trace of any mundane contamination, means anarthas. So as we were discussing also last time, that if devotees who are not qualified take up to this, thinking I'm qualified, and they go outside ISKCON, or they think that within ISKCON also I may do it, then they will fall from their Vaidhi sadhana also. Okay. So that is what is said here. Hmm. Yeah, continue.
Therefore, in the beginning, everyone should strictly follow the regulative principles of devotional service according to the injunctions of the scriptures and the spiritual master. Only after the stage of liberation from material contamination can one actually aspire to follow in the footsteps of the devotees in Vrindavan. It is said by Sri Rupa Goswami, when one is actually liberated from material contamination, he can always remember an eternal devotee in Vrindavan in order to love Krishna in the same capacity. And developing such an aptitude, one will always live in Vrindavan, even within his mind.
Yeah, so now Prabhupada is giving the warning, okay, that in the beginning, everybody should strictly follow regulative principles. So now what Prabhupada means here, is it that later he can break the regulative principles? What is the meaning?
Once he has developed the taste, he will not follow.
No, no, no. What is the meaning of this word regulative principles Prabhupada is trying to say? Is it meaning the four regulative principles?
64 regulative principles of devotional service.
No, no, no. It means Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti.
Okay.
Okay. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. That we have discussed earlier also in this chapter when Prabhupada is using this word, kindly take it to be Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. How do we know? Regulated devotional service, he means. He is saying here, regulative principle of devotional service. Because the context of discussion is later he will say, when one is actually liberated from it, he will always remember, okay, where is that? Yeah, here. Actually aspire to follow in the footsteps of devotee of Vrindavan. So he is contrasting with the Raghunuga sadhana bhakti. Which part? Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. So when he is using this word, regulative principles of devotional service, what he means is Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. How do we know? Later he is saying according to injunctions of the scriptures and spiritual master, Guru Sadhu Shastra he follows. That is his impetus. So that's why these words which are regulative principles here should be understood as Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. And automatically it does not mean that later one can break the regulative principles, which many people misconception they have. Okay, that is not the reading here. Only after the stage of liberation from material contamination can one actually aspire to follow the footsteps of devotee in Vrindavan. That means that greed is possible only when one has overcome anarthas. That means he should be at least at the stage of nishtha. And now next slide we will see what is the meaning of being at the state of Nishtha. Otherwise one can at any time think in his mind that probably I have reached there. So our acharyas will not leave any scope of having that imagination. Okay, everything based on Shastras, they will tell that please have these checks in your sadhana card. That whether you are having these five things in you, if you have these five things, then you are at the stage of Nishtha. Okay. That self evaluation is given. Okay. Many times this question comes, why so much technical? So why so many stages? We can just do reading, hearing, and chanting, and we can go back to college. Yeah, that is there. But here Acharya will tell that what it means that one can understand he is at the state of Nishtha. Because then only he can understand that this greed is genuine. Otherwise, it is lobha abhas. Later, it will be said that is only a appearance of greed. It's not imagination, but it has not fully fructified. Okay, later it will come. That's why he's saying, Prabhupada is quoting Rupa Goswami, when one is actually liberated, means he is actually liberated from anarthas. What is the meaning of liberation word here? Liberation from anarthas. Here mentioned, right? Liberation from metal contamination, not the stage of moksha. He can always remember eternal devotee whom he wants to attain the bhava of in order to love Krishna in the same capacity. And developing such an aptitude, one will always live in Vrindavan, even within his mind. Okay. Yeah, continue.
The purport is that if it is possible, one should go and physically be present at Vrajbhumi, Vrindavan, and be engaged always in the service of the Lord, following the devotees in Vrajdham, the spiritual realm of Vraja. If it is not possible, however, to be physically present at Vrindavan, one can meditate anywhere upon living in that situation. Wherever he may be, one must always think about life in Vrajdham and about following in the footsteps of a particular devotee in the service of the Lord.
Yeah, so this will be explained later that mentally residing in Vraja means what? Okay, he will tell Vrajlokanus. Uh, Yeah, it will come later. Okay, Seva Sadhak Rupena, Siddha Rupena Chatri. That will be explained later. We will discuss there. Yeah.
Devotees qualified to make the transition between Vaidhi and Raganuga Bhakti must be at the stage of steadiness, Nishtha, and must have given up attachment to things that divert the mind from service.
Yeah. So Shivaram Swami Maharaj is writing in his book that they should be at least at the stage of Nishtha, which comes after Anartha Nivritti, and they should have given up attachment to things that divert mind from service. Okay, which makes the devotional service unsteady. Okay, that is the definition of Nishtha is that there is steadiness. Okay, and when anarthas are there, they keep coming in between and making our devotional service unsteady. Okay, that's why that happens before anarth nivritti. Okay, due to anarthas. Yeah, so now one may think that yes, I have already crossed anarth nivritti. So to remove that doubt and to actually understand that yes, I have actually reached there, to self-evaluate oneself. This is not for the purpose of judging others. Kindly don't use this for that purpose. But this is for the purpose of self-evaluation, which Madhur Kadamini mentions. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti has mentioned these five obstacles to attainment of Nishtha in Madhur Kadamini, chapter 3. Yeah, please read.
First, Laya, sleep. Second, Vikshepa, distraction. Third, Apratipati, indifference or disinterest in spiritual topics. Fourth, Kashaya, tendency toward bad habits. And fifth, Rasaswad, taste for material and enjoyment.
Yeah, so if these five are largely present, then one is not there at the stage of Nishtha. Means they can be minutely present. Okay, Srila Prabhupada will say Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu means what? 75% one is rid of anarthas. Okay, that number Prabhupada has given. Okay, don't take it exactly, but take it figuratively. Almost like that. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu. Almost 75%. One is rid of anarthas at the stage of Nishtha. Means he is not majorly disturbed by these five things. What are these five things? These five things are manifestation of anarthas. Okay, manifestation of anarthas. If anarthas are there in our heart, they will manifest in these five ways. What are anarthas? Lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride. Okay, as soon as you hear the word anartha, you should immediately understand what it is. These six items should come to our mind. Otherwise, we will think, yeah, it means something. Okay. Lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride. They manifest in these five ways and they stop us from doing the bhakti practices. What are the five things we read? Okay. Yeah. No explanation will be there. Yeah.
First, Laya refers to the tendency to sleep during Kirtan, Shravan, and Smaranam, Japa, in order of increasing tendency. Second, Vikshepa refers to distraction toward mundane topics while performing service, that is, gossiping while doing japa.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is, sorry, Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, what is Laya? Laya is tendency. These are all tendencies. These all five are tendencies. This is a first one is Laya is tendency to sleep. Okay. Why that sleep is coming? Because of anarthas. It's there in the heart. Okay. From many lifetimes we have cultivated them and they are sitting in the heart making us feel averse to Krishna conscious activities. What are the three main activities Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying? First is Kirtana, second is Shravana, third is Smarana, in order of increasing tendency. Now in Kirtan it is most difficult to sleep. I have seen some devotees sleeping and I have also slept sometime. Okay, so no amazement in that, but Kirtan it's most difficult to sleep. Okay, if one has not slept much then it is possible. Shravana is more easier to sleep, and most of us might have experienced. Okay, that how it is easy to sleep during Shrimad Bhagavatam classes or Bhakti Shastri classes here also, because every time only one speaker is there. Okay, but in Bhagavatam class at least you have a new speaker and new verse every day, and here everything is like same thing. Every time the topic also is known what is going to come, and speaker is same, so it's very easy to sleep here. Okay. Only thing is speaker may not be able to sleep because he has to speak. So that advantage is there with me. So, but I have not read of that obviously because I am speaking, so I cannot sleep. Okay. So third is smarana, japa. Japa is like, oh, it's very very comfortable and very nice to sleep actually because same mantra every day. Okay, there is no different speaker also. You only have to chant every day, and you know that sleep is also going to come only many times because I have not slept yesterday properly. So it's very very easy and comfortable to sleep. So that's why he's saying in order of increasing tendency. Okay, so acharyas are not like they have been in different age and they don't know what are our problems. They have understood what problem is going to come and what are the problems that are going to be there in Kali Yuga, and accordingly they have written scriptures. So one should never think that yeah, actually, yeah, these shastras are not practical. What this outside people outside of ISKCON they are saying, na, they are giving these seminars which are very practical actually, but our shastra are not practical. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came how much? 500 years ago. Now 539 years yesterday. So they are very old. They are not practical. No, shastras are most practical, and chanting is the most practical way of going back to Godhead. Okay, one should never think that these are impractical ways now. Very old, like that. Yeah. Otherwise, sometimes these self-help books and outside people they give so much of seminars and inspiration that one may start thinking, even in ISKCON, they start thinking that yeah, these shastra are not practical anymore. They don't speak about our acharyas. They don't know about the problems which we are facing. They have just written something which they understood to be right. It is not like that. Okay. So they understand what are our problems which are going to come, and they have given solutions to that. The problem is we have not read it. Okay. When we read, we will understand what is solution to each problem we have. The problem is not with them. They have given all the books, they have given all the solutions. It is we who have not read them. Okay, we should read, then we will understand what is the solution. So yeah, Kirtana, Saravana and Smarana increasing. Okay, so if one is feeling sleepy in Kirtana also, that means lot of anarthas are there. If one is feeling sleepy in Shravana only, but not in Kirtana, that means okay, anarthas are less. And if one is feeling sleepy only in Japa, but not in Kirtan and Shravan, that means anarthas are even more less. They're very less. And if one is not feeling sleepy in any of the three, okay, that means he has crossed the stage of anartha nivritti. Okay. But that is not the only one. There are five of them because some people may not be feeling sleepy in any of these or any of the activity. They may need actually less sleep only because of their bodily thing. But there are not one only. There are other four. Yeah, vikshepa. That is distraction. Why does distraction come? Again, because of anarthas only. All these are anarthas manifestation. Okay, we have tendency to enjoy something else. Lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, pride is there. So that will manifest a distraction toward mundane topics like gossiping while performing our services. So you must have seen many times devotees they chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. क्या हुआ वो ओलंपिक्स में कुछ कोई मेडल नहीं मिला इंडिया को. देखो चाइना हमारा बगल में है वो कितना मेडल जीत गया. इंडिया को कुछ मिला ही नहीं. आधा आधा मेडल मिला. Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Mantra completed. Okay. Like that, sometimes one may do japa. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. हाँ चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी जीता लेकिन अभी हाँ. हरे राम 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 हरे, लेकिन वर्ल्ड कप हार गया था. हाँ करेक्ट. ठीक है वो. Hare Krishna. हाँ like this chanting will go on. This is called vikshepa, distraction. Okay. Yeah, please continue.
Third, apratipati refers to the occasional inability to perform kirtan, etc., in spite of the absence of laya or vikshepa. Fourth, kashaya means the tendency to indulge in anger, greed, pride, etc. due to past bad habit. Fifth, rasaswad refers to the inability to observe the mind in kirtan if one gets the opportunity for material sense pleasure.
Yeah, so other three are mentioned by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He say apratipatti, occasional inability. Okay. Not that always one feels unable. Okay. So occasionally we may feel inability to perform kirtana or other limbs of bhakti, though he has taste for that limb, but sometimes he feels that oh I am not attracted to this now. Now I don't want to do. Okay. So sometimes there is absence of laya. We are not feeling sleepy, and we are not distracted also. Somebody may come and tell, Prabhu, can we come and hear Prabhupada lecture together? Can we chant few rounds together? No, 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 not now. Why? You are feeling sleepy? No, no, not feeling sleepy. I'm feeling completely fresh only. Okay, you are having something disturbing your mind, some distraction is there. No, 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 nothing is disturbing my mind. Then come, let's chant and or hear or read. No, 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 now I don't want to do. Now I want to do something else. So like that inability is there, and that something else is not devotional activity. Okay, something else. Then that is distraction. Okay, yeah, kashaya. Then he says tendency again to indulge in anger, greed, pride, etc. All this basically lust, anger, envy, illusion, pride due to past bad habits. Okay. So how much they are disturbing us, to that degree we are not having steady practice of bhakti. That may they make our practice to be unsteady. And that unsteadiness is the characteristic that we have not reached nishtha. Okay. And these things, okay, let us explain fifth one, then conclude. Rasaswad. That refers to inability to absorb the mind in kirtana. If one kirtan means it can be any form of devotional service. Kirtana is representing the devotional service here. Okay, nine limbs or even more. If one gets the opportunity for material sense pleasure, so if one is chanting japa and he sees that oh now prasadam has started, so he feels अरे prasad खत्म हो जाएगा. Let chanting तो always is there. I can chant after prasad also, no problem. 16 rounds ही तो chant करना है, कुछ ज़्यादा नहीं बोला. हाँ, so I can chant later. Now prasad is there. So even that is a spiritual activity only, honoring prasad, but not so spiritual for everyone. So he may feel that material attraction. So one may stop his japa or spiritual activity and then go for that, even though he knows that I should have continued it. There is inability, and it's not wrong, okay, because of the anartha it is coming out, but one should not proclaim that he has reached nishtha having these things. Okay, so if these things are majorly present in our bhakti, then it means we have not reached the stage of nishtha. Okay, if these five are majorly present and they disturb us, they may be little bit present because Prabhupada told like 75% we are read. So they may be sometimes occasionally here and there, maybe there. Okay, but majorly we find ourselves being distracted by these five things. Okay, then we have not reached nishtha. And then we should understand that even though we may have some attraction towards the Vrajavasis, that may not be yet fully fructified into genuine greed. It may be growing, it may be in the seed form, which is very good. We may have some attraction as of now by hearing the 10th canto pastimes. That means it is in the semblance, not fully ready. We are on the way, work is in progress. When the anarthas will go away, then we can actually understand that yeah, greed is genuine or not. Okay, and that greed also towards the Vrajvasis, that also should be steady. That is another side of the thing. One should be having steadiness of practice. That means these all things should be absent, as well as that greed or attraction should be also steady. Okay. Yeah, please read.
After the stage of anartha nivritti, when these obstacles are almost completely destroyed, one achieves steadiness. Thus, the symptom of nishtha is the absence of the above mentioned obstacles.
Yeah.
One who understands this section will not be misled by the semblance of greed, whether in themselves or in others. Srila Prabhupada writes, we must always remember, however, that such eagerness to follow in the footsteps of the denizens of Raja, Vrindavan, is not possible unless one is freed from material contaminations.
Yeah, so tomorrow if you say or see somebody who is crying in kirtan and showing all symptoms of bhava bhakti and he is proclaiming that I am Raganuga sadhaka, but at the same time he is infested with sleepiness and all these five things, distraction and anger or lust, and he claims to be an advanced devotee. So we should understand that that is not true. That is not based on scriptures. What that's what Shivram Maharaj is saying here. One will not be misled even for themselves or in others. So that's why it is told by Srila Prabhupada in NY Purport 5 that one should identify a Uttamadhikari and then accept him as Diksha Guru. And to the degree that person is advanced, one can advance to that degree in his life. How to identify? These things are given in the scriptures only. Okay. Yeah, continue.
In the practice of devotional service, there is a stage called anartha nivriti, in which all material contamination gradually disappears. Sometimes persons are found to be imitating such devotional love before they have become free of anarthas or unwanted habits. The Nectar of Devotion, chapter 16.
Yeah, this we read. Yes. So now today we will pause here because I have to another Bhakti Shastri started, and there I have to uh, go and introduce about the policies of BVRV. Okay, so that is also same time 11:30 to 1:30. So these topics I think tomorrow we can take. Okay, and if there are any questions, then we can take tomorrow. Okay, so thank you very much
Thank
for your patient hearing. Yeah, anybody
thank
has
you,
any
teacher.
comments? Yeah, yes, please.
Just a quick question, Prabhuji.
Yes.
English Bhakti Vaibhav course is going to start? Are you going to start new English Bhakti Vaibhav course?
English Bhakti Vaibhav. Okay, yeah. For that we did not uh, get sufficient registrations. Only 12 were there, I think. So we have to wait for that to start. Yeah, not yet started. We have not got sufficient registrations.
You have posted for English. It was as
No,
advertised was for Hindi.
English not posted only because we did not get sufficient. We had taken a vote actually, which Bhakti Shastri Bhakti Vaibhav we should start. So for English, we did not get sufficient vote itself. So that's not started yet.
But it will going to start.
Yeah, yeah, surely in 1 or 2 months it's going to start. Okay, but
Oh,
not we have not got sufficient people. Again, after 1 month, we'll take a vote. How many people are ready? Then based on that, we will start.
okay, because I'm interested, Prabhu. That's why
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
asking.
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Guruji,
Okay.
you will be taking that or some other
No,
teachers will be?
Bhakti Vaibhav is like it has like here you have 6 units, na? Bhakti
Hmm.
Vaibhav has
First
33
six
units.
canto.
First 6 canto, it has 33 units. So each unit
Hmm.
taken by different teachers, and one may be primary teacher. It can be others also. Not yet finalized who will be primary teacher, but it's very mix of devotees. And who is primary teacher, he may take more sections, but generally there are multiple speakers in that. Like here we had 6 units. In that 2 units I have taken. So other 4 units were taken by others. Like that it will be for Bhakti Vaibhav also. Yeah.
Like for GV Gaurang Darshan Prabhuji takes single-handedly. So
Hmm.
can't
Hmm.
you take Prabhuji? Can't you take all the sections?
No, no, no.
Because see, we feel connected with you.
One minute.
We
We'll
feel
stop the
connected
recording.
with
Yeah, Arun, you can stop recording. Yes, Mate, you continue.
with due